from America's heartland, this is GJRB, Clinton, Iowa. Well, hello everyone. Hello everywhere across the USA. Welcome to Way Out There. A show looking at the weird, the strange, the things outside the realm of explanation. Have a great show lined up for you. First, we're going to get started. Before we head in there and get started with this show, I thought I'd make a mention of some program change announcements that I want to make. First off, today, originally planned on the on-air time of 1 o'clock. It's going to be right after we got done with our 11 o'clock airing of the last 7 days. Well, that didn't happen this week only because the last 7 days meeting didn't happen. Our pastor's wife had to go to the doctor's, and so we had to keep the one we got on now. The previous last 7 days, which was recorded live on February 11th, will remain on our Spreaker public site until Monday. So you'll get to hear that for another couple more days. And then I'll be taking that off. And the new Way Out There, or new last 7 days will be on next weekend here on GJRB. So let's let you know about that. Also coming up next weekend, working on the first weekend of possibly either the last Saturday of the month, or possibly it's going to be airing the first Saturday in March. We're going to do our another Best of the Gary Russin program. Okay, I have a brand new show ready for you that first week in March. Now, I plan on doing there is you're going to hear a fresh Best of Gary Russin program once a month. Okay, a fresh Best of Gary Russin program once a month until I get a build-up of shows and some of the best stuff that we've done over the past year or so of the Gary Russin program. We usually go back a year, and then we play that week's current show. And a lot of times, I don't always have a new show ready that quickly. So I'm planning on just doing the Best of the Gary Russin program once a month, with frequent rebroadcasts about every couple of weeks throughout that month. Unless I have a brand new one ready, then we will do that. But other than that, that's how that's going to go. And I'm doing that because, like I said before, I don't always have another show ready. And it takes a while to put those best of shows on because I sometimes have schedule conflicts in production or something or the other, and don't always get to work on those shows. But I'm working on that one. But I'll have it together, that's for sure, for our next edition. But anyway, welcome to Way Out There. Got a great show lined up. Last Friday was my birthday. Yep, Friday the 13th, last Friday. Been 54 a week. Yeah, oh well, yeah. I've been an old goat for about a week, so I'm getting older. Anyway, it was a great day. Nothing unlucky really happened, other than the fact that last Friday, I led my friend Brian astray, tried to get to this particular restaurant in Moline called Ryan's, just because I haven't driven in the Quad Cities for like some time. So a lot of that has to do with the fact that I don't remember and couldn't get my bearings straight. But otherwise, Friday the 13th turned out good. But, you know, that unlucky about Friday the 13th is we're going to talk about Later on in the program, I'm going to play an interview from Coast to Coast AM with Dave Shrader when he interviewed Mitch Horowitz. He's the author of a book called The Occult in America. And he'll talk about the history of superstitions and how he believes that superstition can be a good thing. Really? Somehow I don't see that. But anyway, I'll also talk about what the Bible might say about luck. What do you think about that? Do you fear Friday the 13th? Let me know. Drop me a message on my Spreaker page. Let me know what you think. Do you fear Friday the 13th, or do you think Friday the 13th is unlucky for you? That's our question for this hour. So you can post it, and we'll have all you got to do is get on my Facebook page. Or if you're a Facebook follower. If you follow me on Twitter, all you got to do is get on Twitter. And right there on Twitter, you'll see, and I'm going to click it here. I'm on Twitter right now. Just further down the line, you'll see the old time radio replica up there. And it'll say way out there, 22015. And then you click down, it'll show View Media. Show you what time I went on the air, and will also show the opening and how I posted and everything. And right there you'll see the real nice widget that comes down. And if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that widget. There's a little balloon on there. That balloon will take you to my page now. If you want to talk to me, you can follow me on Spreaker. You can have your own Spreaker account, and you can join me on the air. And you can also just leave me a message on my Twitter. Just tweet a reply to that widget and let me know what you think, and I'll go back through and check every so often if there's messages. If you follow me on Twitter, Facebook, or Google Plus even, you'll be able to see that and be able to follow my show that way and be able to respond to the question at hand. Do you fear Friday the 13th? On the last Gary Russell program, I talked about vaccinations and how parents who do not or don't vaccinate their kids could face jail. I didn't get any response on the subject on this, but I will accept answers to that question. Would you inoculate your kids, or do you feel that the inoculations are dangerous? I'll be playing you a Coast to Coast show with George Norrie, where he interviewed Mary Holland. She's a legal research scholar on her own, and she felt her own child was hurt due to vaccinations. And she says her parents still have a choice, and whether to choose to vaccinate or not. And we'll talk about that one too. So that's all coming up. But first, before we get all this started, here's a brief look at today's news here on GJRB. Top of the news, though, is coming out of Australia. The story is that there's a cyclone hitting. They're getting a double hit. They're getting a double hit of two cyclones. One's called LAM, L-A-M. It's crossed the northern territorial coast about 20 kilometers east of town of what is called Milangimbi. It's a Category 4 cyclone. Overnight, knocked out 2 wind monitors in the process. It also been downgraded to a Category 3 as the storm moved inland. About 200 kilometers to the southeast, there's another one, and that's Cyclone Marsha. And it has now crossed the coast near Yeppoon, which is close to the Rockhampton on the central Queensland coast. The storm is rated as a Category 5, and they're saying that's the highest ranking. Cyclone Marcia was downgraded to a Category 4 by the Bureau of Meteorology in its 11 a.m. briefing, but they're saying that the two cyclones reaching Australia are uncommon. They're uncommon. Friday's combination may be the first involving storms of this category. It's equal to a hurricane on our coast. Category 3 or higher, according to Phil Perkins. He's a meteorologist from the Bureau of Meteorology in Darwin. They interviewed Marcia. They're talking about Marcia who's bearing down on Queensland. Queensland's residents and authorities are rushing to prepare for the cyclone Marcia as it intensifies. And it's going to intensify. They're saying this doesn't look good, folks. It's going to intensify off the Queensland's coast.
Few hours is that the winds will rise. They will be screaming around these areas where the cyclone is crossing. There'll certainly be the water, the inundation from the water coming in from the storm surge. There's no doubt about that. So there will be a lot of water on the ground, and the clear message is if it's flooded, forget it. Even our emergency services personnel will be withdrawing, and they'll be going to places of safety so that they're ready as soon as the eye has passed, as soon as the danger has passed, that they can get out and assist members of the public. This is going to be a calamity. There is absolutely no doubt about that. Our primary focus from this point on is the safety of all human life in that area.
And that's from their news media. That is from their news media, and they're saying that this hurricane is very intense, and so we need to put a prayer out to those people in Australia. This is not good. Cyclone Lam knocked out wind station there in what is known as Elcho Island late on Thursday. 150 mile per hour winds. That's the highest recorded at the site. Second station in Milagimbi was halted operations, exceeding the winds of 93 kilometers. So the wind speeds of 260 at their peak, with sustaining winds of 175 to 185 kilometers. Mr. Perkins, the storm surge, says it reached all parts of the Gulf of Carpentaria, and in some areas recording the seas more than 1 meter above astronomical highs. Cyclone Marcia, meanwhile, is recorded high speeds as much as 285 kilometers, but sustained winds of 205 kilometers. The cyclone's first to make landfall in Midland, Australia this season. The third latest arrival past 50 years, the Bureau said this week. So they're looking at, now if you really look at it now, remember they're in the southern hemisphere, which means that they're ending their summer. Okay, they're ending their summer while we are going to be heading into our spring. They'll be going into their autumn. So kind of like what it is for us when we go to our autumn in August, we have a hurricane season. What I see here is that Australia is just the opposite. Their hurricane season would be in our spring season, which is just approaching. So they're in for it. That's terrible. I hope everything's going to be all right for them. That doesn't look good at all. That's terrible. So we're going to keep an eye on this story, and we will I'll follow it for you right here on GJRB. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post my show on other sites here. So I'm going on my Spreaker site where I see my live feed right now,